So, first class, let's have some introduction. So, what is the importance of chemistry, physics, mathematics, different basic subjects, and why first year is coming to first year building to study these subjects? That is a very common question. People think that okay, I have already completed my 12th, so studying all these subjects, then why need me to study again, right? That is a question always coming, pertinent question. So, you should understand the reason. So there are subjects like physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, biology, all these basic subjects here you will be studying. So after that only you will be eligible to study engineering. Why? Because science clears the field on which technology can build. This particular this dialogue, it is from a famous scientist. It's called Heisenberg. Have you heard the name? Heisenberg uncertainty principle. That Heisenberg told this thing that science clears the field on which technology can build. So first you have to clarify your science background, then only you can become an engineer, otherwise it's not possible. So what is the basic difference between science and engineering? You understand or not? Science means we are gathering some knowledge from different fields, maybe from books, from teacher, from internet, from different sources you are gathering certain knowledge. That is science. You are writing, okay, I am telling you, write this equation. So you are writing that equation. So, but writing equation is not enough, because unless you use it in your practical life, daily life, it is insignificant, isn't it? So, science is doing the invention, and engineers are doing the innovation. That is the basic difference. Invention, you are creating something. You have got, okay, in the laboratory found this thing is true. So what? If it is not coming to my life, how I will be interested? It's nothing for me, isn't it? For everyone is thinking like that way. So it should come to my life. It should make my life easier. Otherwise it's meaningless. That is happening most of the time. Some drug is discovered, but that drug is not coming in the market. So what's the use? Okay, so that's why both the things are important. Until unless you know the science, you cannot develop anything, you cannot do any invention. Until unless there is invention, there cannot be innovation also. First invention, then only innovation. That is the difference between science. And scientists, they are dealing with a few grams of chemicals, materials, few grams. I am talking about chemistry because my subject is chemistry. So some amount of material you are making in the laboratory, that is in terms of gram. Now whenever you are a chemical engineer, I have both background actually, chemistry as well as chemical engineering. Okay, I did my MSc chemistry from IIT Kharagpur and did my PhD from IIT Bombay in chemical engineering. So I have both the fields. So chemistry, what is the thing? You are making something in terms of gram, a few gram, 10 gram, 20 gram, but not even kg. But chemical engineers, they are doing the scale up at least a few kg. That is called pilot plant. Laboratory, but laboratory is a bigger laboratory, and there you have the, instead of beaker conical, you have some reactor. Reactor design you have to frame, size, dimension, everything you have to, engineering drawing you have to do. After that you make the setup ready, and there you can handle a few kg, pilot scale. Without pilot scale, chemical engineering aspect is meaningless. Chemistry, few gram is enough, but chemical engineers, at least a few kg you will have to deal with. After that, when you are becoming successful into pilot plant, you are going into plant scale. That is in terms of tons. So first you will take lot of trial by kgs, because you cannot waste a few ton and then you think, okay, it is not useful, just throw it away. Huge amount of money you will lose. So that's why people are doing into kgs. If it is becoming successful, then ton. Is there any difference if I make some few grams of chemicals and a few kgs of chemicals? Yes, there is a difference. The mixing. Mixing is not uniform heating, mixing, thorough blending. That is not happening always in terms of kg or ton. Becomes more difficult. If it is a few gram, so just in a beaker or conical, you can start it by hand itself. But kg, you cannot start by hand. So in that case, you need some stirrer, magnetic stirrer, motor stirrer, different type of stirrer machines are there that will blend the things together. Okay. And last of all, in terms of ton, there you even ordinary stirrer also will move. Blender or stirrer will not help. You have a huge system. There you have a multiple number of stirrers in different phases for blending, for mixing, isn't it? So my name is Dr. Saurabh Ranjan Das. So I will be knowing your name also one by one. Well, so application of chemistry in engineering. First of all, I want to clarify this. Why there is chemistry? Otherwise, why will we be learning chemistry? You must understand why it is required. So you are EC and electrical. EC and electrical, one thing is very much required, that is material. Without material, you cannot make any wire. Electrical engineers will be using wires, and EC they will be using some circuit, motherboard, different type of chips, microchips. So for making that microchip and all, we need silicon. So our central government, Modi Sarkar, nowadays has taken a plan that by 2020, India will supply semiconductor into the whole world. Now we are importing semiconductor so far. We were importing semiconductor. We were taking this type of parts also we are taking always from outside world. We are not making it. Hardware is very poor in our country. Hardware means computer hardware. Okay, hardware is a general term. So computer hardware still we are very not that confident. But now we are growing, and very soon by 2030 maybe we will be pioneer in that field. We will be supplying huge semiconductor into the whole world. So that is the plan already has taken. Okay, so booming industry, semiconductor. So, and materials. Without these materials, semiconductor is a material, and that is made by silicon. Where from you will get it? What is the source of silicon? Tell me. Major source of silicon in India. Where will we get it? सिलिकॉन चाहिए तो उसका सोर्स क्या होगा? कहाँ से मिलेगा सिलिकॉन? सबसे बड़ा वाला सोर्स कौन सा है? मेजर सोर्स सैंड, सिलिका. Silica is SiO2, na? So if you can reduce that, you get silicon. Very simple. But hearing simple, making it not so easy, because silicon dioxide is a very, very stable compound. So reducing that into silicon is not so easy. Okay. So we may think that way SiO2 oxygen will remove and get silicon, but it's not so easy because the compound itself is very stable. And if it is a very stable compound you want to break, you need a lot of energy. So that energy will add a lot of cost also. So that is the problem. It will not be economical. Theoretically everything possible, but what about practical sense? Whether if you make it, whether it is economically viable or not, that first you will have to think over, isn't it? It's not so easy. So that's why it was so far not done. But if you once you start it in a large scale, it always things becomes cheaper. If you make something 1 piece, 2 piece, becomes very costly. You make 1,000 piece, per piece cost will reduce a lot. Okay, million piece, very cheap. It happens like that because you have a huge setup, industry, and their making cost per unit becomes very cheap. So that is the thing people are doing. Okay, so silicon, as I was telling you, it is one important thing that you are getting as a material, and people will be using in computer industry and as well as electronics. Electronics, computer is also electronics. So electronics and communication, that subject you have chosen actually. Electronics and communication. Nowadays you need a fiber optic fiber. Fiber optic, optical fiber. As the same or different? Fiber optic, Optical fiber are the same. Then what is the difference? Optical fiber, you have seen, no? Looking like thread. So light में use होता है lamp. So at the end of each and every thread-like thing, it is glowing at the end. देखा है इसको? तो एक लैंप है, लैंप का अंदर ऐसा लगता है कि धागा जैसा है, उसके एंड में लाइट ग्लो हो रहा है. वो लाइट पासिंग थ्रू दैट लुमेन एंड एट द एंड इट इज ग्लोइंग. सो दैट्स लुकिंग वेरी फैंटास्टिक. एंड fiber optical fiber cable, through that data is getting transferred. Under the ocean also huge amount of data is cables are there and passing at different direction of the world. So these things, material is very important. Without that material, and day by day material we are changing. Once one material you have made in 10 years back, it is not be successful now. Day by day our demand is also changing and we are making newer materials every day. Polymer. One important thing is polymer. Polymer is good or bad in general if I ask you? अच्छा है कि खराब है? Both sides are there. Polymer is very important, very much required, useful. Without polymer we cannot imagine our civilization nowadays. Everything, everywhere you can see the polymer. Okay. So but this polymer, what we are using, we are improving also. Regularly we are improving, not same polymer is used over a long time. So now what? Car bonnet, body of the car is made of what? What material we are using at the body of the car? Any idea? कार का बॉडी में क्या कौन सा मटेरियल से बना हुआ है? मेटल, स्टील. अच्छा, वेनी थिंस that actually alloy, not pure steel. So steel nowadays not, because steel will give rust. Nowadays आजकल का गाड़ी में कोई rust होता है? Rust नहीं होता है. कोई पानी में धूप में पड़ा रहता है, दिन के दिन साल भर पड़ा रहता है, लेकिन rust तो आसानी से नहीं होता है. So actually it's a sort of alloys. Different type of alloys are used because we want lighter car, we want better fuel efficiency. Isn't it? So if you want better fuel efficiency, you have to have a lighter one. So for lighter one, you have to have alloy which is stronger, as well tougher, as well as durable. So these properties will be there. Now this civil engineering, for example, you need to learn about different all engineers. So civil engineering. Now construction. What do you need? Cement. Without chemistry, cement is unimaginable. Different about chemical research you have to do for better cement. That cement people, civil engineering people, they cannot do that. Chemists are doing that to improve the quality of cement, and then they will hand it over to the civil engineers. Okay, this is the cement you can use and try, and let's take trial and think over whether it is good or bad. Okay, so that way. Mechanical engineer, what is the main basic principle of mechanical engineering? There are three aspects. One is called mass transfer operation, heat transfer operation, and even for chemical engineering also. This thing is common to both mechanical as well as chemical. Mass transfer operation, heat transfer operation, fluid dynamics. These three things are the basic backbone of these two engineering subjects, mechanical as well as chemical. Okay. So nowadays this one thing is nowadays one term has become very common, that is called multidisciplinary approach. Nowadays all the research is happening in a multidisciplinary way. One people from mechanical, maybe one person from chemistry, one person coming from physics, jointly doing a project. That is called multidisciplinary approach, and that is becoming more popular nowadays. So that means there is a interrelationship. Okay. So you are taking two different type of car, diesel car and petrol car. What is the difference, petrol car and diesel car? Any idea? It's a basic idea, minimum. जानते हो? If you know, you can say. जानो, बोलो. Spark plug. That is the main difference, right? That is the main difference. स्पार्क प्लग है, स्पार्क प्लग नहीं है. तो if spark plug is not necessary, then why you are using it? Actually we are using different fuel, petrol and diesel. So in petrol fuel we are using spark plug, and in diesel engine we are not using any spark plug. Instead of that we are using compressed ignition. So it is called CI engine, compressed ignition engine. So in the CI engine you have two nozzles. In one nozzle you have the compressed air, through the other nozzle the compressed fuel vapor is coming, and then it is getting knocking each other. Both are compressed from, so it is due to this compression both are hot, so heated up. So this hot blow of this air and the jet and the fuel jet, when they knock each other, it automatically gets ignited. That is called CI. दोनों एक ही ऑटोमेटिकली जल जाता है. क्यों? बिकॉज क्योंकि क्या है, वो दोनों कॉम्प्रेस्ड है, and compress means it will become hot also. Due to compression is becoming hot, तो दोनों हॉट चीज़ एक ही साथ धक्का लगेगा तो और ज़्यादा हीट जनरेट होगा, तो जल जाता है खुद ब खुद. It ignites automatically. That is called compressed ignition. Now there is another one called spark ignition. There we are using the spark plug. So in the spark ignition, what you do, there are 4 steps. First the fuel vapor enters, and then the compression take place. After compression the spark plug will ignite the fuel. After burning the fuel vapor gas mixture after burning goes out. So it is called intake stroke, then compression stroke, power stroke and exhaust stroke. These 4 steps. That's why it is called 4-step engine. Okay, so that is the mechanical engineering where chemistry is used. Scope of chemistry in engineering, importance of chemistry for engineering innovations. Material engineering. Already I gave some brief introduction. Chemical composition influence material properties. Structure property relationship. If you have a give different structure, property will be different. It is called structure property relationship. Now, innovation through different chemical processes. If you do some little bit of modification, your property will be different. For example, polyethylene, जैसे polymer, polythene का क्या बनता है? मग, जग, बकेट, टम्बलर, ये सब बनता है. तो ये सब मग, जग, बकेट, टम्बलर, it is not very tough. It breaks. ऐसे थ्रो करेंगे तो टूट जाएगा. So they are not very tough. So this type of material, because they are low density polyethylene. Low density, and low density is usually transparent until unless you give color. If you give color, then it will not be transparent. If it is not color, then it will become transparent. Then if you increase the density, it is called high density polyethylene and ultra high density polyethylene. Transparent, semi-transparent and finally opaque. So different type of polymer. So how do you increase the density? Little bit of processing change, chemical process industry doing some little bit of changes, and you are getting different type of polymer materials. Role of chemistry in chemical engineering. So chemical process principle, different techniques are there. First of all, you have to get the ideas, that is chemistry, and then implementation of the ideas, that is chemical engineering. Chemistry is giving the idea and chemical engineering is the implementation. Actual idea will implement it. That is. Engineering and technology, is there any difference or the same? Technology, when you are talking about BTech, means technology. So technology means there we are taking some theoretical aspect as well as practical aspect more. And engineering means mainly practical. There is some little bit of difference. Though similar, subjects are similar, courses are similar, degree is same, BE, BTech will be equivalent, right? But BE means engineering is given more importance. And engineering means the practical, real world situation will be dealt with. Practical, real world situation will be dealt with. Theoretical aspect will be less. But technology, some theoretical aspect will be also considered. Theoretical plus technical. Techniques. Technicals as well as theoreticals. Both will be taken together. That is called technology. So that means technology is a much more wider sense. It is a complete package, capsule. Got the idea? chemical reactions and process design. Then catalysts. What is catalyst? Known to you? You know catalyst, you have heard. Catalyst increases the rate of reaction or decreases the rate of reaction. Accordingly, we call positive catalyst and negative catalyst. Positive and negative catalyst increases or decreases the rate of reaction. Now, how a catalyst can increase the rate? By reducing the activation energy. Activation energy is the barrier. For doing the reaction, you have to cross the barrier. That is called activation energy. The highest energy barrier that you have to cross, the height, that is the activation energy. Without activation energy, no reaction can happen. Now, if we apply sufficient energy, then the activation energy will be crossed and the reaction will happen. That is the general idea. Now, just think in a different way. If you can reduce the activation energy, that it will be easier. You have to supply less energy. That is always advisable, because if you go for a higher and higher energy, number one, you are spending more energy, means you are spending more money, because energy is money. It is not free. Energy you have to buy. Any type of energy you have to buy. Whether it is electrical energy or thermal energy, you must buy it. It's not free. So if you can reduce the energy expense, it's a very good one. Energy should be more and more effective, efficient system, so that minimum amount of energy will be spent. So catalyst is the answer. If you can use more and more catalyst in every field, that energy cost you can reduce a lot. Maybe in the beginning, the catalyst cost will be added up, but afterwards, in the long run, will be benefited. That is the system of catalyst. System of catalyst means catalytic bed or catalytic process you will have to implement. At the beginning, investment will be high, but after that you will be benefited. Maybe in the 3-4 years time, you will find the cost, what extra cost you added, that will be already covered up. Already that is covered, or you have got the paid it back. So how much time is taking to get the investment cost return? That is called payback period. Payback period is a standard term. कितना दिन के बाद तुमको वापस मिलेगा जो मनी तुम इन्वेस्ट किया, कितने दिन बाद वापस मिलेगा, इसका नाम है पे बैक पीरियड. In the industry, this payback period is very, very important term. So catalyst is important. How it is reducing the activation energy? By participating in the reaction indirectly, sometimes directly also, but it is always coming back. Catalyst is always coming back, but after coming back, whether you can reuse the catalyst or cannot use the catalyst again, that is a different story. Always it may not be. Sometimes the catalyst can be again and again recycled, but sometimes it cannot be. Sometimes it can be regenerated, sometimes regeneration will be difficult. Okay. Accordingly, your cost will be also different. So chemistry is in environmental engineering is also very important. Nowadays, this environmental science, what is the why it is there? Environmental science, everywhere it is there. You also have to study. You have the subject environmental science. Why environmental science is required? It is awareness subject actually. Every citizen has to be aware of this subject. It's called environmental science, because day by day our pollution level is increasing. So if we reduce the pollution level, how we can reduce the pollution level? At least we can prevent the creation of pollution. That's type of idea, minimum idea should have. Application of chemistry in different fields: chemical, corrosion, lubricant, chemical additive. So these are things maybe I have mentioned already. Electrical engineering, polymer, battery. In the mobile we are using battery. In the household, that inverter we are using, there we are using battery. So battery means we are using some chemicals, and how we can minimize the loss, how we can recover the material, that is industry. Now we know that day by day our petrol or petroleum products are getting consumed, and it is maybe it will be over after a few years. What do you think? How many more years we will get petrol? See, so far still it is available in the petrol pump. How many more years it will be available? Another 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Yeah? So for our case, see, it is very bad situation because that America, they have stored huge quantity for them, for their citizen, they have stored huge quantity. But for us, India, we are buying always petroleum products. We are always buying from the outside the world, right? We don't have any production unit much. It means our India, we don't have much that petroleum oil well. The mines, not there. Under the ground, we don't have oil. We don't have oil reserve and resource. So we have to buy. But how we will buy? If it is available in the market. After this time, sometime it will not be available in the market. Then that's why nowadays there is a trend. People are switching over into different system, like battery driven car, battery driven car, battery driven bike is very common nowadays. Scooty, huge number of scooty you can see in the road. But what about car? Car is a limited number. It is just coming in the market. Lot of limitations there for the car, because you cannot go for a very long range. It is a very short range. If you go for 5 kilometers up and down, you can use battery car. But if you are going a bit longer, suppose you are going to Kolkata from Durgapur, then battery driven car will not be successful. In the middle somewhere it will be drained out. Battery will be drained out. And battery cost is very high. And after few years, what you will find, the dumping of battery, what you will do with that? Pollution problem, very serious pollution problem will come with the battery. Now you may think, okay, we will be using battery and our pollution will be less. But after a few years, the dumping of battery will itself create a huge nuisance. Lot of pollution will be created. That you cannot avoid. Another problem. So to avoiding one problem, you are creating another problem. That's a fact. Oh, time is up now. Okay. So 12:30. So more or less you understood the introduction. Next period, obviously I'll do something else. So this bridge course is meant for, this is called bridge course. So what is the bridge course required? So to get the idea of different subjects and their importance, how we can